Today I thought we'd look at some bad people driving, or people who are bad at driving. Maybe they're not bad people, but their driving is. This is an educational video, alright? We're educating ourselves on how not to drive so that we know how to drive. You know what I'm saying? And maybe laugh at people who are bad at driving and feel superior about our own abilities. That was great. That was absolutely a great moment to have at 5:30 p.m. So you're probably coming home from work, you know, you're kind of stressed out, but yes, it's over. I can relax when I get home, and then of course you get a situation like this. Now it's not that big a deal because you were looking straight forward, so you saw it coming, right? There were no oncoming traffic, so you could get around. All in all, it could be worse, but I've never understood, alright? Let's put yourself in the shoes of the other person. You decide that for some reason it's a good time to go, but let's just say that you didn't see it, however that it happens. But let's just say that happened and you didn't do it on purpose, alright? Why not step on it? Why are you like, I'm going into this lane? I think I want to go exceptionally slow. That sounds like a good idea. That sounds way more fun than speeding up. I see this a lot where people like just about pull in front, and I feel like sometimes it's just genuinely because they didn't see it, and then I can kind of excuse it because you don't expect it. But a lot of the times there's also people who try to squeeze quickly in front, and then they still don't step on it. And it's like, do you not understand like basics? Human brain? Like if you're gonna quickly pull out in front of someone, at least be out of the way quick, or go at the same speed everyone else is moving as fast as possible. But yeah, what do I know? What do I know? I'm just an idiot, which you shouldn't take anything seriously what I say. You can see the eyes of bewilderment from the passenger and the driver. You know, you could have easily not, be scared if you had looked on the road that you were driving onto. But, I'm just saying. I'm very glad nothing happened. Also fortunate that the video didn't have sound, because I can assume that you were maybe crapping your pants. And it would have been funny to hear, but The text says near miss this morning on my way to work, which would be my preferred, moment to have that happen. Like if you have to have a near accident, in your day, I would love it to be early so that when you have it happen, you just wake up. Like now the adrenaline is pumping, right? You don't need coffee anymore today. You're fine. If you get to work and you're ready for it, There's always a positive in a negative is what I'm trying to say, okay? You need to see the positive side of almost getting killed or your car wrecked, or maybe killed is a little exaggeration, right? But getting hurt at least. Okay. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting such a big hit. It sounded like a like a big one. Now the text talked about insurance expired and whatnot, which would lead me to believe that this person did not become like unwell or something where they weren't responsive and were dying. No. This person was most likely drunk is my first guess, because there's no way you go to the wrong side of the road, then kind of go back and almost miss the sign and you just keep going on the busy intersection. Like this blows so much, because that's the thing with these types of accidents, or maybe like let's say something happens and two cars hit each other while you're waiting at the red light or something. Like you are the victim. You did nothing wrong. You were patiently waiting for the light to turn green like you're supposed to, right? Following the rules, obeying the traffic laws, and still you became a victim of some guy who, well, like I said, I'm assuming had one too many drinks and was just like, yeah, let's just go in the car. Let's just do that, with expired insurance. Which blows, because now who's going to pay for it? This is such a complicated situation, and you did nothing wrong.
That is a really, really bad spot to fucking, oh my god. What the fuck is going on? What?
I'm confused. Did two drivers get the wrong lane? What are you doing? Alright, we're going back to the age-old saying, right? A good driver misses his exit sometimes. A bad driver never does. Or they do, and then they get hit by a semi and they die horrifically. Or not horrifically, because it's actually quite fast. Traumatizing the truck driver for the rest of his life, and then, ruining people. You know how it goes. A good driver is like, well, we got the wrong one. we'll fix it later, right? Then we'll be 30 minutes late. It sucks. It's not fun, but, you know, should pay more attention. Let's not risk our life and other people's life while missing the exit. You know, it's a good idea. Does that sound like a good idea? To just kind of miss it, and then, you know, 30 minutes is worth more than losing your life, you know, or someone else's life. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing that out, throwing it out there. You can do with that whatever you want. When I see a van like that, the first thing that comes to mind is that person is probably working for some sort of like construction company or plumber, whatever, right? Those type of people. And I know that those people are often in a hurry. They have to call with clients. They have to look where the next job is. They need to be quick because it's all on time, like whether they're on time and then how fast they can do the job, right? I get it, but still, I'm keeping hands on the fact that your life is not worth your stupid job. And I understand you don't want to miss out on money. I completely understand it. But this, like, we can see the POV card had to, like, stomp on the brakes. If those brakes were even a little bit worse, or they were like kind of weary, or the person reacted a little too late, it would have been a collision, right? So we're lucky that the driver was paying attention and the brakes worked fine. But dude, how? In front of a turn as well, with so much traffic in front? Is that ever a good idea? And we're ignoring the fact that it's completely illegal with the double line. Quick lesson in road safety, alright? Being late is better than being dead. We saw with the last one, we see it with this one. Remember that. Always keep that in your mind.
You fucking idiot! You fucking idiot!
Oh, hell no. Man, you can't be that much in a hurry, can you? Like, there's just no way. Like... Dude, this was the last day of December in 2016. Why is it so sunny out? Dude, I'm sometimes I get jealous of you people who live in nice places weather-wise, you know? Because here in the Netherlands, I mean, right now it's really nice weather and I'm so happy. But I feel like 70% of the time, the Netherlands is just gray. Like, it's just gray clouds, no color anywhere, no sun, no, like, snow to make it, like, whimsical or something. No, just gray and kind of wet and cold. It's just very grim. 31st of December, look how nice it is out. I wish I had this. I wish it so much. I need some good weather in my life, just always. I get hit hard with seasonal depression, I'll just be honest. Or maybe not depression, but just, it gets me down. Again, you can't be that much in a hurry. I can't help but feel like that was malicious, like that was an attempted murder. And I get it, it's annoying when people drive kinda slow, but if we look at the POV, he's overtaking every single car. So we can assume that this person is already driving over the speed limit. All that to be exactly where he began. That's what I'm saying. They put extra wear on their tires, they drive like an a-hole, and they get themselves and others in danger for what? To end up either one place in front or even still behind. Like I see with driver's lessons, so I have to drive exceptionally slow. I mean, the speed limit, but that feels slow, right? So I drive nice and slow, very patiently, okay? We drive defensively, no left lane hogging, no driving fast, no, very, very slow. And people still then overtake me and sometimes even cut me off, to then eventually we get to a stoplight at the same time. And I'm like, what are you doing? You are not faster than me. I'm driving the slowest I would ever... Like, if I would drive myself, I would just go a bit faster because it's just nice to have a little bit of pace in there, right? But I'm not gonna drive, like, overly aggressive or way too fast, but just a little hurry up in there. A little more with the flow of traffic, because sometimes I feel like I'm kind of obstructing the traffic because everyone wants to go faster, and I'm there having to abide to the speed limit. And I'm not encouraging to do illegal stuff, right? To do illegal stuff behind the wheel. But I'm just saying, if you can, pick up a bit of pace to go with the traffic. Because you don't want to be that one person who's kind of holding it up, because that makes people annoyed. And I am making people more annoyed with the way I have to drive. But then they overtake me and they start, I haven't been brake checked or anything, but they do kind of cut me off sometimes. And then we get to the stoplight and I'm next to them or behind them. And when I'm next to them, I try to make eye contact, but they of course never look. And then, like, what was the purpose, right? You were less diligent with gas usage, because I was. That's a good thing about the way I'm learning to drive, is that I'm very efficient. I don't have to get gas as often. So you wasted more gas, you're wearing out your tires faster, you're also like slightly annoyed or frustrated with how traffic is going, while I am relaxed, efficient, and my tires are doing fine. You know, I can go longer with them, and we end up at the same place at the same time. What was the benefit? How about you tell me? And this guy, what you saw in this video, was absolutely crazy. The person needs to be tested for alcohol, first of all. Secondly, probably license removed, because if you're doing that type of action, you probably shouldn't be on the road. Or at least some sort of like course where they can relearn the rules of the highway. You know, just for a little refresher. Because maybe they don't know as well anymore. But yeah, that will do it for this video. These bad drivers definitely need Jesus. Thank you for watching, and let's get out of here.